The plight of a persecuted religious minority in China in the spotlight tonight. Hundreds of Uyghur Muslims and fellow protesters marched from the White House to the State Department. They're calling on the U.S. government to take stronger action to help end China's genocide of Uyghurs and Turkic people.
Today, countless millions of our people remain locked up in concentration camps, prisons, and slave labor camps. Many of them are being tortured, killed for their organs, raped, sterilized.
Uyghurs have sought independence from Beijing for years. Critics, though, point to the Chinese government's steady persecution, sending millions of Uyghurs to concentration camps, which China calls re-education camps. And joining us now is the woman that you see on the screen, ARIELLE del TURCO, Assistant Director of the Center for Religious Liberty at Family Research Center. A first order of business, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Is it ARIELLE or ARIELLE? My apologies.
ARIELLE.
ARIELLE, thank you, ARIELLE, for being with us. So first off, can you help us get a better understanding of what we're talking about? Can you describe the dire situation Uyghurs and those in that area that call it East Turkestan face today under control of the Chinese government?
Yes, well, the Chinese government refers to it as Xinjiang. It's a northwest province populated mostly by the Uyghur people, and they are an ethnic minority as well as a religious Muslim minority who have long been persecuted by the Chinese government. But in 2017, they actually started to ramp up their persecution of Uyghurs, creating large internment camps. And today, there's up to 1 to 3 million Uyghurs detained in these camps, and they can get thrown in there for just about everything, for growing a beard, for being caught with Quran apps on your phone, for having too many children. The list is almost endless. So it's no wonder that Uyghurs in America are frustrated that this is happening, even today, to their fellow Uyghurs in China.
Yeah, it does appear they are getting more and more vocal. ARIELLE, what can the U.S. do to help the Uyghurs and the Turkic people in China?
Well, in January, Secretary of State Pompeo actually declared that there is an ongoing genocide against the Uyghur people, and they determined that based on the Chinese government's widespread forced sterilization and forced abortion of Uyghur women. So this places a large responsibility on the United States to do something. So for starters, Congress can pass the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. This act would prevent items made with forced labor in Xinjiang from entering the United States. And this is actually a way to cut off the Chinese government's ability to profit off of their human rights violations, because these Uyghurs held in these internment camps are not just detained, but they're then used as a source of forced labor for either very cheap or for free. So we need to be cutting off the source of income based on China's oppression.
ARIELLE, we only have a few seconds left. Uyghurs are calling on the United States to expedite asylum cases. How important would that change be, again, in just a few seconds?
This is very important. China allows very few Uyghurs to get out of the country, but once they are out, they need protection from repatriation to China, and they need to be assimilated into U.S. culture, which they typically love. They appreciate America's freedom and for the voice of the United States government speaking up on their behalf.
All right, ARIELLE del TURCO with the Family Research Council. It's good to have you this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.